All right. So this is the um, Ridley tier list for 11.0.1 I'm working on today, and I'm just going to go over Ridley's matchups for these. I've decided to split this into parts, and I want to go over in detail the characters here. And that is why I'm splitting this into parts and explain the decision process here and what's going on. And that's because I understand there's going to be a lot of controversy here with these choices, and I hope, and not only get understanding, but I can even get input from top players as well who can give me their input and what they think as well. Um, because that'd be the whole point. Because I know, as far as really goes, there's not a huge amount of representation, and I do made Ridley, and my experience having played in tournaments, even back in Brawl, um, my first tournament being an early tournament when I was younger, it's very different from what people understand that from playing casual, that it's when you're playing to win, you do everything you can to win, and that's what I'm basing this off of, and not truly counting online too much. Even though yes, stuff is discovered online, it doesn't always work offline. And I also want to discuss at the end of this video what really needs as an improvement, truly as a character, because he is flawed in design even as a character. Much like there's other characters on this list that need improvements too, like Sheik. But Ridley's are a little more. Even Sakurai's literally said when someone reminded me later, or not later, earlier in an interview that Sakurai mentioned he would never be Ridley truly, and I think Sakurai took that to literal sense just to spite us, and from his interview. I say us, I mean Ridley fans, because he said he was doing it for balancing purposes, but there's other things he could do balancing wise to make Ridley Ridley. I almost think at this point Sakurai at this game's to be a little spiteful too, but that's why I'm putting out videos here to be helpful with the game. So we have Ganondorf. What just happened there? So we have Ganondorf. Yeah, so Ganondorf, again, I have it as slightly winning. It really doesn't have any true matchups. There are winning, like 70-30, or like winning, like 80-20, or even absolutely 100-0. That's not realistic. But slightly winning, yeah. Because here's the problem. Ridley, by design choice in this game, even though it's not accurate at all or any reality or anything except in Smash Brothers, is less of a heavyweight than Samus, Dark Samus, Mega Man, Banjo, Simon Victor, Snake, who is, where did I put him? Here, Ike. A lot of characters this guy's actually. Ryu, Ken. Even though they're in the same weight class, it's less heavy. Is he less heavy than Rob? I can't remember. I think that they might be around the same weight as Rob. I think my point here is that I think he's definitely less heavy than Cinnamoroar. And there's no real balance reason as to why. Um, but that's a huge thing that hurts really in this matchup over Gandorf. But despite that, Ganondorf um, doesn't have too much over Ridley. Besides that, basically what I'm saying here is Gandalf can kill really early, but Ridley can safely build damage over Gandalf and outspace Gandalf a little easier than Gandalf can. And Gandalf has to rush down Ridley, where Ridley doesn't have to. So if you're talking in terms of competitive, Ridley should have the advantage over Gandalf. Just based on those ideas alone. And they can both kill each other pretty easy. Ridley's plan is to get Gandalf off stage. Gandalf's plan is... it's going to sound a lot more simple, but it's the truth. Smash attack Ridley, or get him off stage and try and go for a 2-frame with a smash attack, or a down air or something. But in terms of competitive, it is going to be a smash attack with Gandalf, and some tilt or something. It's normally off stage against Ridley, because Ridley's recovery is a little safer than Gandalf's. So it's a little more advantageous for Ridley in this matchup. It really has a little bit safer of a neutral than Gandalf too. So overall, it is. But the fact is that Gandalf is just seriously so powerful. He actually is a heavyweight that it's only a slight advantage against Gandalf. And it's kind of similar with King Diddy, but the difference is King Diddy actually can go stage against Ridley a little bit. He has armor in his up B, and his up B kind of is stupid in the sense that it can spike too. And there's Gordo, and he has the hammer, which is a weapon that has the kind of thing like it's a sword. It can clink and other things, and he can inhale, and the inhale properties, and there's all kinds of different things with King Diddy. The only thing that would make King Diddy broken, the inhale, is if he could copy abilities like Kirby, but it's just not what King Diddy is about. Little Mac. Why is he even here above? Well, speed, and the armor. Little Mac, it's kind of playing, basically, you're trying to catch Little Mac is that game. And try not to get stung. Basically, it's like trying to catch a scorpion with your bare hands. Or I guess I should say a bee with your bare hands. It's like fly, like a butterfly sting, like a bee. You know, it's kind of literally like that, and it's kind of funny. But at the same time, you're Ridley, and he's the bee. Stings you once, but that's it. It's kind of what it's like. It's at the point he shouldn't be able to do anything even if he gets KO punch, because you get him off stage, that's it. He shouldn't be coming back. But at the same time, he's going to be hard to catch because he's just so much faster than you on the ground. But if you can get him in the air, that's it. So your strategy should be getting him in the air, and you should be trying to outspace him with like your down tilt. You should be trying to use neutral air, maybe even back air sometimes to deal some damage. Fireballs with your plus of breath too. Deal damage and bait him into approaching you and not running away. Yeah, but even that being said, he's going to try and hit and run. That's what his plan is against you, because you're obviously going to pick a stage with it's a platform, but he still has ways to get up there and hit you and deal some damage and keep a distance so you can't carry him up stage or combo him. You just have to try everything you can to avoid the Pirate Rush, which is, if you're able to get that, you can get him off stage, which is what you want to finish him off. So, if be ready for that, and be ready that the Little Macs from the Masters of Teching, because they have to know how to tech it, is for being Little Mac alone to get back to stage. Because they're going to have a lot of opponents going to try and spike you or kill you, every way possible off stage. Just be ready for that. And I'm sure you have to be ready too as a Ridley player to be ready to attack. That's just important. Don't just try and give up. But yes, it's just a struggle. And the only reason me fighters above Lil Mac is not the same place, actually, believe it or not, is because as far as the rules, as far as I'm concerned, what I'm aware of, unless it's been changed, you can change their moves. When you're making the character, you can't, or you have the character, like you can, you can't change their. And I mean, if someone's with a update, maybe let me know that, when you're putting your character in the tournament, I mean, you can't change the character itself, like you can't change the size or the height or anything, but you can change the what moves the character has, I believe. So you can, instead of doing like the default, you can have like a different up B or a different side B or a different neutral special, different down special. So it's not. You can make your character a little versatile. So you can have like if you don't need a counter, need something more evasive, you can do kind of like the Zirzu Samus kind of thing, and ground people even. So I mean, it's different. But still, against Brawler, you shouldn't have too much trouble because you have one thing over them they don't have, and that's speed. As Ridley, until your main trait as an advantage is going to be, you're still not a heavyweight, so you have to be careful because you're a big target. So space them is your big thing and use your speed. So use your aerials to your advantage. Use your breath when you get the chance, because they don't have anything in their booth kit to deal with the breath as effectively as some other characters. They can still obviously parry or shield, things like that. They can jump, but anything to help give you an advantage is good. Especially when they don't have anything in their move kit to, not just get an advantage on you for doing something like fully counter you. Like for instance, their counter, like Little Mac's counter, doesn't actually push forward and deal with damage to you. Even Little Mac's counter, even though it does that, it doesn't get enough range to hit you. That's why as Ridley player, your distances and things for matchups. And and that's why at a certain point with the match with Little Mac, you don't use Flame Breath, you use Pirate Rush if he's going to try and go for a counter, or if you know to bait him into using counter and things. And this is, of course, a list considering they're both at both players at that high level competing, that similar skill gap or same skill gap. Because usually when a tournament organizer does pairings, they base it, normally when you have a good tournament organizer, they base it off of similar skill and other things and matchup and stuff. They try not to make it illegitimate, or it's not even just about unfair, it's just completely one-sided, because that's like being illegitimate at that point, because it's like, why even bother? It's not even about views at that point, because then the viewers today are just like, why did you even bother? It's just cruel, because like we know the outcome and everything. You're just trying to ruin that player. It's kind of like that. And even again, these are all slightly winning. Me just saying that, these are all slightly winning. So you can still imagine how hard these matchups would be. Because they're still able to get in on Ridley, and Ridley's such a big character. He's still a heavyweight, but he's barely a heavyweight. That's based on I think the data from Smash itself. Um, Luigi. I got the weights from Corrigan Hammer. I think it's the same on the Smash data and on other sites though too. I mean, they get the data from the game itself. So, um, but Luigi. My main argument is this: Luigi has to get for a lot of the things he does. Not all of them, but a lot of them he has to get grabs. And Ridley doesn't rely on just one strategy um, to win. He's not a one trick pony, if that makes sense. I'm not saying Luigi's a one trick pony necessarily, but his main strategy is to grab the opponent and then yeehaw, essentially. You go to town, is what I'm saying. Ridley's um he's kind of like big brain, I guess, because he's even in his lore, he's second in command. So I would say really it's multiple strategies. He can kill you comfortably in a lot of ways once you figure him out and master him. You know, up, down, side to side. You know, like any direction. You know, in the game, he's a pretty versatile character. And you know, Luigi going against a character that can do that when his main ways he kills, um, in the way in order him to get from where he kills side to side or up and down is off of a grab or a Luigi missile, um, or if he builds enough damage and does his down B, or he does his up B. And with these things I'm pointing out, everything that falls from that, he has to be, in other words, right in his opponent's face, basically. And how he gets there is with a fireball, Zair, or pressuring his opponent with, again, like fireballs, Zair, running up their face with a down beam, maybe, or just chasing them off stage or something, or like with a jab or something. But again, all of that, like, it's not consistent. And Ridley can just outspace him or chase him off with all kinds of things. Luigi's one of those characters. Ridley can do a plasma breath, like not a fully charged, but even half charged, just 3 fireballs, and have minimal end lag to chase Luigi off with a neutral air, forward air, or a raw back air, I guess. Um, Pop Luigi up with an up tilt into an up air. You can space out Luigi with down tilts, forward tilts, multi jabs. And he can kill Luigi because Luigi's a middleweight, I think. Maybe slightly on the lightweight side. Around 115%. Maybe like a little bit later, like 125. If Luigi does perfect DI or something, maybe 130 at most. With just a triple jab. Jab, 1, 2, 3. He does the bite at the end. And then he's dead. The jab can kill. Ridley's jab is very good. It can kill if you don't do the multi jab. Ridley can also kill Luigi with the Pirate Rush, up B, any smash attack, up tilt at super hyper sense. Has, I'm not sure if it's right to say iframes or something on it. On the tip parts of the move, like the edge of the wings. Obviously, with these tilt can kill his forward tilt. His down tilt can set up into a bunch of things. Ridley's aerials can kill flat out at certain points, especially when he's taking you off stage. His back air can most certainly kill. I'd say the main things, or most of the things you have to watch out with Luigi, of course. In this matchup, when you're trying to control neutral with Ridley, which was kind of pointing out, with Ridley, is you have to watch out for a lot of Luigi's main go-to setups. And of course, if top players want to come in and say, there's other things here too, and that'd be great, because I love learning and,
I want to learn more stuff too. If they can point out some things, that'd be great. Luigi's a lot of the main things they can do is trying to set up things in the grab, or get out of options with burst options like down B, um, or Luigi's like every character kind of do this and go for a read. I'm like, if you're gonna roll, don't roll too much in this game. It's the main advice. You should never be rolling too much. That's any Smash game, but um, in this game, it's always good to kind of have because really doesn't have a true amount of burst options. You want to be ready to retaliate something safe like a nair or a fair, or if you're grounded like a jab's pretty safe, down tilt's kind of safe, um, up tilt's pretty safe. Something, one of your quick options that can pop up the opponent, give you some space. You can almost always follow up with a nair. Um, Especially against Luigi. Luigi, the only thing he has, which is why you don't always want to follow up, which is why I said almost, is because Luigi has um his down special, and sometimes if your timing's off and you're not quick enough, he can do his up and hit you, and that will kill you. Because they're such a big target. So I would say, if you're able to pop a Luigi, just back off and just continue to space. Take the damage and back off. Sometimes it's the little victories that we have to appreciate the most. Um, Jigglypuff. Um, Sometimes with Jigglypuff, it's similar, but Jigglypuff you can play a little more aggressive because their burst options, as far as getting out of things, are like Sing, um, down air, because the down air can has very low lag and other things. It depends on the situation. So if they like down air into your up air, that might end up being good for you because your up air is a kill option, and their down air is just a setup. So, but if you like neutral air into their down air, it depends, I guess, on the situation. Like if they end up, if you're close to the ground, like you neutral air them and they down air you, and you hit down to the ground a little bit, and you actually do hit a little stun, even if you tech, they can continue to dare you further into some setups or dares, and that just is, regardless, it's extra damage against you. So you have to be careful. Um, but Jigglypuff, you should be able to win okay, just because it still can be close because it can still do rest setups against you. But you should be able to do okay just because you can keep them airborne a lot of the game. And Jigglypuff, they're like, well, Jigglypuff is fine in the air. Well, so do you. And you're going to be grounded a lot too. You can chase after them, do up airs, neutral airs, whatever air you feel comfortable with doing, as long as you hit them. That's the key thing. You have to deal damage and hit them, and keep pressure on them. And if they ever try to do rollout, just plasma breath, deal damage. And if you actually get them to 100%, because they're one of the last characters in the game, almost every move you do is a kill option. You have your triple jab, obviously your up special, any smash attack. Down tilt's not going to kill, but it will send them really high up to get you to good position. Forward tilt's going to kill with the tipper. If not, get them close to being dead. Up tilt will not kill, but it'll get them in a bad position. Neutral air will send them off stage in a bad position, get them close to being dead. If not kill, if you get a tipper. Tipper may get them close to being dead. Forward air with the tipper may almost kill them if they're near the ledge of the stage. Back air, of course, is going to kill. Up throw, I usually go for that if I just want pure damage, because it does, I think, 15%, if not 18 or something. It does something crazy. Because just do the grab, pummel. That's it. A couple of those, and then
do an up air and you end up doing like 20% or something. And that's pretty good for just a grab. And if you're gonna do a combo, um, I don't think it's worth doing like a down throw combo on Jigglypuff. It's not going to guarantee into follow-ups. You get 50-50s. So I think it's better just do an up throw. Because at that point, Jigglypuff's above you, and you're a scary creature to be above. Just, pointing out the obvious, but I'm just saying it's important to note the difference there of why you choose one grab over the other. And if you want Jigglypuff off stage, just throw him back off stage. Or if you're able to get a Pirate Rush, that kills too, and you could just, obviously, you could throw him off stage. Whatever percent, that's good. And at 100%, obviously, Jigglypuff's going to die from the Pirate Rush. Unless they use Perfect Die, then they're just going to be, But obviously, at that point, you can just take a break, go get a soda, come back. I'm joking. Don't go get a soda and come back. You're going to be dead by the time you do that. But seriously, just notice you have a moment to take a breath and get yourself ready, because they're even more into kill percent for other things. You could probably come with a second Pirate Rush or an up B, whatever. You just know it's okay. You can take a deep breath. But yeah, Jigglypuff, as scary as that character is, the little pink balloon Pokemon is not going to really be able to do what you would think. Compared to like Bowser Jr., who is... expect a lot of cannonballs. Because they're going to find the Mecha Koopa is not going to be enough, so they're going to throw fully charged cannonballs. Because the fully charged cannonballs will hit against all 500 plasma balls and still keep going a little bit. And if you run into it and try to dash attack it, you will clank with it. Yeah. It's stupid strong. Yeah. So, what I suggest to do is to find out what kind of Bowser Jr. monstrosity you're fighting when you do the match. If you feel you have to make the first move, Plasma Breath first. Maybe not fully charged, but maybe charge it a little bit. One Fireball, something. Just so they feel like they, you get to see what reaction they do, whether they charge their Cannonball or their, they do a shield, something. Just see what they do. I would say it's best, because normally Bowser Jr.'s, when they do their thing, they try to set up or something, they try to put out their Mecha Koopa bomb, and they try and go into their clown cart, scoop up the bomb and other things. That's still something you could do in this game, or they just try to go right into trying to combo you because they say, ooh, really big punching bag, but that's not really the case. You can kind of both kind of combo each other. The difference is that when you get him off stage, he's more vulnerable than you are. And a neutral, you're just as scary as he is. Because you're more of an air fighter than him. And yes, he has things like up smash to make you scared. Because it's multi-hitting and it does do a bit of damage. And his up air is pretty, yeah, I mean, it's good for comboing, but it's not going to... You shouldn't be in a position too many times to worry about it. If you get in a position where you're being comboed, just... You're going to have to do whatever it takes to get down back to the ground, because and it kind of depends on the player you're playing against, because a good Bowser Jr. is going to try and look for you air dodging or doing anything. If you're doing down air, up B, anything to try and get down to the stage.
You know, burst options, anything. You don't really have true burst options. Your best option would be something like a Nair, and they may have something for that. Like I don't know for certain if an up air from Bowser Jr. beats a Nair, or if it trades. If it trades, that's good. If your Nair beats up air, that's even better. Or if their up air beats the Nair, that's bad. So there's a lot of different things you have to consider and look at. I would just say, um, it just also in this matchup, it's very important to keep an eye on your jumps, which is the other point of shooting too. If Bowser Jr. gets the jump on you, basically is what I'm getting at. He's going to get the advantage in neutral, and you don't want that. So you have to really pay attention to everything going on in this matchup. That's what makes it stressful. But if you do that, you get him off stage, you'll be fine. And then we have Incineroar. So you can absolutely win this. Just the main thing that makes it so stressful is you can't be too like trigger happy with this one, if that makes sense. Spam happy and all that, because he has some things going for him. Like he has the biggest thing is revenge to help him with catching up and things, but the other thing that really hurts a lot of people, in which there is, I believe there is a way to with the lariat, you can, I think, influence the timing a little bit or something. But of course, I'm probably completely wrong. But if there isn't, or there is, just someone let me know. But and I'm talking about a side B. I'm not sure if that's even the right name, but basically, your goal with Incineroar is to get him off stage and keep him off stage without killing yourself or him taking you down with you, because he has gotten some buffs, but it's not even just the buffs, and he does need them. He is truly a strong grappler and can absolutely tear people apart. It's just because his recovery is so exploitable and he's so slow, you should be able to take advantage of that. Again, what's going to hurt you is because you're not a true heavyweight. You're going to suffer. And your projectile is not going to be super useful because he can just revenge it and he'll be fine and able to use all of that against you. So just don't use your plasma breath too much. Just facing with things like your tilts, your down tilt, things like that. Try to go for grabs when you see or think he's going to use revenge. Because he's... Yes, I'm telling you, go for roots. Yes, because... I mean, you think he's going to go for a side B, and this is obvious advice, I guess, too, but, just don't let him get his side B, because it's going to try and build damage with that, if not kill. And he can do subs with it. He's really frustrating to fight against, because everything he does, it feels like it's guaranteed, but it's not. Just be careful. And Yoshi. Moving on to Yoshi, my goodness. So Yoshi. So the thing about Yoshi that makes me... I don't know, the thing about Yoshi is, like, and I want to quote when I say quote, I'm doing the best from my memory here. It was a commentator, said Yoshi, if you main Yoshi, you are a literal baby. And I think I'm looking at a symbolic view here, because Yoshi's an easy to use character, but if you use him competitively too,
because they're an easy to use character, they have such good frame down and all this other stuff. They're really, really solid and they're a really good character too. But at the same time, the thing is, their burst options are their down special and their double jump. And they can throw their egg and get extra lift from it. I'm just pointing out here that and their side B is really not all that good, and it is kind of it's kind of neat, it's kind of funny, um, from a design point and everything. Yoshi, as a character, you can't really actually hate him. He's really kind of cute and neat and things, but when you fight him, you're like this thing throws its own young at you to win. So, I mean, and it's canon. But anyways, I'm just, I'm, I just have to say that when you're fighting Yoshi, you literally have to play passive against Yoshi to where they start running in your face and trying to attack you. Which Yoshis will do that a lot of times voluntarily. Which honestly, that's good for you as a Ridley player. A lot of players will do that actually with just about every character in the cast. Which in competitive, that's not always the best thing to do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, in this kind of game, in this Smash, it's probably not the best thing to do the way they designed the game. I'll give you an explanation why after I'm done going over these characters, and why it really probably needs a buff based on how they designed this game, and why everyone gets so salty on this game, so upset, especially how the game plays and everything, especially when a cool character comes out and so on. But Yoshi, his approach options involving throwing his egg, double jumping inward or jumping inward, throwing an up air or a forward air, just an aerial in general, mostly his like neutral air. And if he needs to get away, he double jumps because he has armor on it. You know. And I'm not even considered this side because top level Yoshis are not going to do that. That move is just. I hope no one's going to argue with me on that one because the side B is not really effective in certain matchups, especially when we're talking like Ridley. It's not going to help, and I'm going to go over exactly why. And what to do is really take advantage of that. So, um, yeah, God, where to begin? I guess with the eggs, because Yoshis love throwing eggs. Um, so here's the thing. If Yoshis want to decide to sit back and throw eggs, which is a real possibility that can happen, and why they do that is because they can get setups off of the hit of the eggs, or the egg rather. They can get like you to pop up in the air, and they can go up and get a forward air, or they can even jump over you, get a neutral air or down air, something. There is a reason they do it. They don't just do it just to the fact they can, I threw an egg. Um, I, so, you don't sit there and just take it, obviously. You can literally, um, there's a few things you can do here. You can approach them after they've thrown the egg and get them. When I say get them, you dash attack, you pirate rush, run a grab, you know, one up and one up, run up and tomahawk grab. There's all kinds of things, or you can stay back and hit them with their own plan. Except yours is more effective, and it's going to weaken them. In a few different ways. I'm assuming. Um, and, depending on the angle of the egg, of course. A lot of them throw up the egg somewhat at an angle where it's aimed to your face. So usually what you do is you know, double jump, charge your plasma breath for a little bit, like it's like a quarter charged, and you fire what, two, sometimes three fireballs, depending on how much you did it at your opponent, the Yoshi. So your Yoshi opponent, if their timing is perfect, they will take shield damage from the fireball, or two maybe. Um, and I say two or one because the other ones probably, they might have the ability to parry it or something, or they'll just take shield damage from all three. Because the likelihood of you actually hitting them, if you do hit them, that means they didn't think in time that, or think, they would have to block something, and they realized, oh, and it was too late, and they took the damage. And that means, oh, I won that trade. Because the point of double jumping and not just jumping is to avoid the damage of the ache. This is a common tactic, people do in projectile counterplay when you have a projectile, like whether it's going to be a snake or a Samus or any other character projectiles. I don't know, Pikachu, Mario. Hero would be different, I guess. You would have to. I know Peach, I guess, would be the same, or Link with the bomb, but Hero, I guess, would be different because not Link Hero because the way his work, but I don't know, Hero, like, it doesn't matter. You just sit there and charge, and God, dude, Hero versus Yoshi, poor Yoshi, because there's certain things like that kind of destroy each other. Um, yeah, yeah, just it's Yoshi, like, should not be trying to camp out Ridley. It is not good. Because Ridley only needs to get Yoshi to like 100 or 110%, and then Yoshi's kind of done. Yoshi at that point has to run away the whole time from Ridley. Otherwise, they're dead. Like, Yoshi can't do anything. Because once Ridley gets near Yoshi or like hits with the neutral air or anything, gets them off stage, they're dead. They're not coming back. Especially if that's super high percent. I know Yoshi players are like, well, they have that armor. I'm like, sure, but once they're at a high percent, the armor's not going to matter because they're going to receive enough knockback to negate the armor. Like, they made that as an updated thing in Ultimate. I mean, if this was Brawl, I would be like, yeah, sure, but it's not Brawl.
They made it percent dependent, kind of like with Tough Guy, you know. I say kinda like a similarity because it's not Tough Guy, it's armor. Like it made it more like depend on knockback, not you know um, damage, I guess. But they also had it like so Yoshi couldn't live to like 999% in the match or 300% like ridiculously easy. I have Patrick Star playing the character like, oh look SpongeBob, look at me. I'm just yeah. And the other thing Yoshi should not be doing, which if you do see this trying to happen, then try and jab down B or something. Uh, Release shield and let them hit you with the jab and push you out of it because they're not going to break your shield and they should not be trying to do that. If they do try and do that to you, it's a shenanigans and they shouldn't do it. So what you're going to do if they're going to try and pull that strategy and they're trying to approach you and things, you're just going to combo them to death. Because they shouldn't be trying to do that. I mean, approaching them is what you want. Instead of them playing the lane camping game where you out camp them and then destroy them. So what you're going to do is out combo them with your spacing, like neutral air, forward air, back airs, rare back airs, obviously, up airs. I mean, if they try and down B you, You simply, you know, either back out of the way in the air or just dash back and dash back in with a jab, or dash attack, whatever you feel like doing. Just get your combos going, or they or get them off stage with a side beat. Just it's all gonna flow naturally. Yoshi should never be in a position where they land with a down beat. It's just like with your down air. And sometimes, if you see they're doing it constantly, you can run up to them and with your down B, where they're being predictable. Just like I found with Ridley, to make his down B useful, besides just things like that, you can actually ledge guard with his down B. And when I say ledge guard, I don't mean on the recover, I mean when they're trying to get up from ledge. When they're trying to do a get up attack, a standing get up, like just a regular ledge get up, I guess. A jump, but if they do a roll, they're fine for some reason, but a jump, and that surprised me. And it's like the whole cast. That is the part that killed me. Yeah, so, no. Yoshi. Yoshi, it's not as advantageous as, no. But yes, the double jump does help sometimes, but a lot of times you're going to find if you play really patient against Yoshi, you're going to win. Slightly. Yoshi can still get a lot of that stuff off of you because you might find yourself making mistakes, you're not getting used to the player's playstyle or whatever. A lot of it's adaptability, and it's just very hard to do that, and it's understandable, but that's what it is. And that's why, a lot of this stuff's going to be these characters want to be hard, like Olimar. Olimar is literally you're playing catch with living creatures. Or rather, I guess, fetch with living creatures. And while they're literally hitting themselves against you till they die, or baiting themselves to death on you, I don't know how else to. You're trying to attack Olimar and punish him for the bad things he's doing. Yeah, your goal against Olimar is to get him off stage and just completely destroy him. The normal way, either you spike him with an up B or downer. Downer, if you're able to do that, that's safer. You could two frame him, okay, with a lot of different ways. Forward smash, forward tilt. You can kill him with a jab again at around, I think, 115% is pretty safe. Usually pretty much does it. It's hard to smash DI out of that. Yeah, that goes for all the characters. You can pretty much kill the whole cast depending on percentage. And it's hard to smash DI again depending on the percentage. Dash attack, of course, can kill. I mentioned the thing with the down B ledge. That's just building percent. That's not a kill option. All the so just kind of ignore that, and that's something else entirely. That's for something else. That's almost styling, and you should never truly try and style in a tournament. That's not a good thing. Any way you look at it, it's damage. Anyways, Pirate Rush is good. It's gonna kill. That's a side B. Every time I say Pirate Rush, that's a side B. Up B is gonna be good to kill on and off stage. If we're talking practicality, Ridley's aerials or being in the air in general against Olimar is gonna be really okay for the most part. But you want to keep Olimar in the air as much as possible, and you grounded against him, and just keep juggling him, keep him in a disadvantaged position because Olimar is going to be much happier having you in the air and him on the ground against you. So you want to reverse that. You want to keep that the opposite.
also consider Onmar's biggest burst option is Whistle. It grants him, I think, armor and invincibility frames, or just one of those, which those are both hard to fight against. Because like he still takes damage, so I think it's armor. But still, the fact he could do that and he'll take advantage of your end lag of your boat. Um, be careful, and usually an Olimar is going to be aware of exactly how the Pikmin work and everything. So, um, study that and be careful with that. Because it's going to be really different depending on the situation. Like, clearly, purple one's going to be great for knockback, and damage, but that may not be the best thing for the situation. So just try and be careful. Is all I'm trying to say. Like maybe the Almar's actually trying to fish for a grab, and you're, you know, just sitting back letting him look for the Pikmin. So just be careful. Um, and then there's the next character I want to go over, which is Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon. Now, my main thing for why Ridley beats Captain Falcon is going to seem a little biased, but it kind of is actually true. If you look at just the designs of the characters, even with Captain Falcon's recent buff, which is really good, it did help him a lot more than Ganondorf. And that's what I'm saying. This is an 11.0.1 updated thing as well. um, in case no one was understanding that. Captain Falcon, he's gonna have trouble with Ridley because of when I say trouble, I mean a little trouble because of certain things with spacing. Projectiles, which Ridley has the one. Ridley has a really good grab with the side B that Ridley's going to be able to utilize really well at this level. I mean, we're talking competitive level, top level, with these people, study their characters like it's, they're playing for money. Let's be real. We're also looking at the fact Ridley is just going to fight against Captain Falcon better off stage. Captain Falcon struggles off stage in general. It's just a known fact. It's in his design. It's F-Zero. Cargo off stage, boom, done. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. And they put that in his design, like he's not the strongest character off stage. He can do crazy things, but after that, he's not coming back. He makes it look good. He's going down with style, but he's going down. Ridley, even if he goes down, he comes back. Even if he has his space-powered army rebuilt him. Ridley's the character with a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way to Z. I'm just saying, like, he built Mother Brain. If we're gonna get canon involved here. But going off of Smash Brothers alone, yeah, they can both kind of mess each other up, but if we're talking like, who wins out in neutral is kind of what it comes down to. If Ridley ever gets Captain Falcon off stage, Captain Falcon should not be coming back. That's what it comes down to, is how good is Ridley keeping Captain Falcon off stage. If Ridley can keep Captain Falcon off stage, Ridley wins the stock. Hands down. And the other thing is, though, if Captain Falcon cannot just survive, if he can survive in neutral and kill Ridley in neutral, that's a stock. That's what it comes down to in this matchup. And they've both proven they can do that in several matches you can look up and watch online. There's several, I think, with Fatality you can look up and see examples of that. And I wouldn't mind hearing Fatality's opinion, but I think if we're looking at like top level Falcons, Fatality is a good example of one, and there's others, of course. But yeah, that's my I guess like opinion on the matter is that it's slightly winning for Ridley. That's what the 55-45 means in this case. It's slightly winning, and I don't think Ridley has a truly winning matchup or like a overwhelming winning matchup. And I'm gonna go over Diddy Kong. And the only reason Diddy Kong's not an even, it's the nerf. Banana helped Diddy Kong a lot. And it's not because of the infinite. This is without the infinite. Like, let's be real. Infinites, I feel, should not be in tournament because it's unnecessary. And it creates stalling. And the reason I don't like stalling, because it wastes time for the tournament and other players. Just the progress of the rest of the tournament. It delays the tournament. I don't think that's a good thing. Even other if you're talking other competitions and stuff, anything that delays a tournament is frowned upon. So that's why I don't like the idea of stalling in general. If you can end the match, you should end it. And if you're keeping the match from ending and there's no true valid reason for it, then, you know, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be allowed. But in some cases, installing, which I've seen people argue, which is fine, you're stalling because you're in a winning position and you want to keep that winning position. Like, for instance, in Smash, we've had cases where people on the better position where they have better percentage and their opponent has a much higher percentage and it's low on time. That's a difference. It's a bigger difference than, doing it infinite. That's different. Because an infinite, it's called an infinite for a reason. So it's something to look at. Diddy Kong, however, I'm not even considering the infinite because it was so, I guess, situational. We're not talking like Ice Climbers or King DDD and Brawl with certain characters or anything like that. We're talking just Nintendo, just nerfing Banana overall, and I believe it's just the time you're able to recycle, I guess is the best way to put it. Just come back to be in use again. It kind of did hurt him. Just the fact that Banana was the main, I guess, tool Diddy Kong had to kind of put up a fight against Ridley Neutral. Because Peanut's not really enough. Because if Diddy Kong tried to go, besides Banana, just use Peanut mostly against, really like Diddy Kong trying to do that, he would lose. And is going to lose. Because Ridley can kind of just... It's not even about just being able to sit back and shoot the plasma breath. Ridley can also approach in the air. And that in itself as a concept is scary for a Diddy Kong player. You have this purple space dragon thing that's flying at you, and all you have to fight it with, even in Smash Brothers, the game, is a peanut. And you can't get a banana yet because the game's like, no, not yet. Didn't say the magic word. Nope. All right, here we go. Yeah, and the thing about banana is too, your opponent can use it too. Like, you can throw it directly at Ridley. Oh, you can grab it right in midair. And that's not too special because every opponent can do that. Like, Diddy Kong's not... And Diddy Kong gets Ridley off stage. It's not that good. Like, if Diddy Kong even goes off stage to fight Ridley, and it's not that good. Diddy Kong is almost trading his stock at that point, and it's not what you want to do. You go off stage to take care of a character. And as far as two-framing a character like Ridley, it's not always a good thing or the best idea. Ridley's up B is just so powerful. I think I've seen a situation where Ridley planked through the stage. When I say plank, I mean like, if I think I'm using the term right, where he upbeat through the stage slightly. That's what I mean by planking. You go through the edge of the stage slightly, and it hit a player trying to two frame him, or just abuse the stage's ledge. It's what I kind of mean by two frame, and it hit them and killed them because they were at a high enough percent through the stage. So this is that's what I'm saying. You can almost get situations like that, um, but it's worse because Diddy Kong. We're talking about him going off stage to go against really like go against it, and that's not good. Um, we're talking about an upbeat that does 21% against whatever Diddy Kong's trying to do. I mean, maybe if Diddy Kong somehow was to utilize his barrel, and Ridley was the object of the barrel, like because the barrel's not the player, but still, like, good luck doing that every time. It's and even then, Ridley's gonna just grab onto the ledge. He doesn't have to. Yeah, it's and especially when you're talking about Ridley, who can just literally throw you off stage and just that could be it. We're just forget about Rush in general. Like if he just gets you off stage, I'm just saying like think about if he does plasma breath or neutral air, any aerial, or if he just sits there, waits for you to come near the ledge and just down tilt, jabs you, anything. That's it. Diddy Kong's recovery is more explosive than Captain Falcon, but again, Diddy Kong also has like banana to help with certain things, but because it was nerfed, it's also just terrible. That's why it's slightly winning for Ridley, because it's just it actually dropped him a tier in this matchup. Now the last thing I want to talk about before I take a break here for this video and get set up for the next one here for the rest of this for the next section of this tier list, which is the even, which I can see is going to be highly controversial. People really love that one. Is buffs Ridley needs. And it's gonna hopefully make sense. He either needs a weight increase or increase in movement. To be like the fastest heavy, I guess. Because maybe that's what they were going for. Or, like in the air and on the ground. Or, what they should either do is just to match how ferocious he's supposed to be as a character, maybe just have him deal more damage and knockback. I don't know. But clearly, Sakurai meant it when he said he's just not going to be Ridley because we're not going to give him the amount of jumps he needs or the size. But again, there's other things you could do. I mean, they basically made Banjo. I don't know. And they made they made the Belmonts. I mean, I don't know. They basically, could do other characters just fine. I don't understand. Like, they did more than do better than they did a much better job than I ever thought possible with Zero Suit Samus. I mean, she runs around, or rather, yeah, she literally just shoots lasers and runs away. In the original game she's from, I mean, so it's like, because her opponents, even when she's like this, they're just too strong. Unless you include other end where she hits her opponent with the plasma, and she just runs away, and then she can punch him, kick him, and then run away or something. Just add to that. But she doesn't. She can't kill them because they're too strong. Their armor and everything. Um, I'm just saying. Yeah, but that's. I believe that's what I have to talk about. I mean, and like unless, um, I don't know, there's other things I'm supposed to go over, but that could be for another time. And then I guess after I'm done with this tier list, or not tier list, matchup chart, I have a tier list ready, and then I can go over that about what I think it is. And I'm also doing a review for Godzilla vs. King Kong and what I think of that movie. So I hope you'll watch that, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll leave a like and subscribe and continue to support everything that's been done here. Alright, have a great day. Bye.